this is how dumb Mom is. There's an earthquake. She looks upstairs and she says, Shimmy, what did I say about bouncing that basketball?
She's getting mad. I love it. She's going to discipline him.
She's going to hit him with a wooden spoon, Heath. Hit him with a wooden spoon.
Don't get me started about wooden spoons.
Yeah,
your relationship makes a lot more sense right now. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, it's not that he doesn't like labels, it's that they're way too complicated at this point.
God-awful movies.
Welcome back to the GAMcast, where each week we sample another selection from religious cinema because we're treating the possibility of eternal torment like it was iocane powder. I'm your host, Noah Lugeons, and sitting to my immediate left is my good friend Heath Enwright. Heath, welcome back.
Thanks, Noah. You know who's got lots of Jewish friends? Me. I do. Just want to establish that early. Me.
Yeah, me too. And sitting 81 miles to my right is my bad friend Eli Bosnick. Speaking of which, Eli, how are you this fine afternoon, sir?
I just found out I'm lots of people. I'm pretty good. I'm a whole bunch of people. I always thought I was just me.
Well, no, there's also that girl with whom Heath doesn't have titles.
That's true. They're buddies. They're pals.
They are pals.
Nope. Good old
pals would be a label. Chums also would be a label.
Yeah, Jewish would not be a label. They're both not Jewish. That's why I have many real Jewish friends, is what I'm talking about.
Oh, I got you. Genuine Jews. All right. So speaking of which, tell us, Heath, what will we be breaking down today?
We watched Agent Emes Rabbi-napped, which is episode 2 of the Agent Emes series, a Yidflix original. I missed part 1, so I was kind of lost. But as far as I could tell from the limited number of comprehensible English words, it's the story of a young Jewish boy who's also secretly a vigilante crime fighter in his spare time, but only for crimes against Jewish people because he's like a bigot. It's weird. It's a weird story.
He's like the Israel of crime fighters. Like a real superpower that's pretty much just concerned with the Jews.
Yeah. And Eli, how bad was this, let's say, movie? Because that's what I usually say.
Well, if you loved the core, but you wish Keanu Reeves were just a little less Jewish, you will love this. It's basically the core. It's the core.
Do you think Keanu Reeves was in the core?
I think a lot of things.
Was to some extent
or that the
Jewish?
core was about earthquakes?
Yeah. So, okay, now I should point out, because we teased on last week's episode that we were going to have Moishi back for this one, and we wanted to have Moishi back, and we were going to have Moishi back, but he was not able to join us. Eli, do you want to tell the audience truth, or do you want to just make some shit up?
I will say he was eaten by bears.
He was eaten by bears, unfortunately.
Fighting crime secretly.
So, all right. Well, now, of course, as Heath already mentioned, he was not here for episode 1 of Agent Emes. So, Eli, would you want to maybe sum up what he missed in the previous installment?
Okay, so in Europe, in like the early 18th, all the way up until modern days, the Jews started interbreeding. But there were a lot of us, and so it sort of really homogenized us as a people. And then in 1995, someone got their hands on a camera, and Agent Emes.
There you go.
Okay,
Right.
so I did catch most of it. Okay.
And is there anything you guys want to nominate this one for being the best at being the worst at?
Yeah, I got a couple. Best worst bully, first of all. The kid that's supposed to be a bully, supposed to be intimidating the main character, but it's Paul Pfeiffer from The Wonder Years. It's not. You can't intimidate anyone with Paul Pfeiffer from The Wonder Years. No. Also, best worst literal game of sports ball. At one point, they're literally supposed to it's kids playing sports. They're just playing all the balls, throwing them the sports ball game. Yeah.
No, as soon as I saw that, I thought, man, this is... They're not even, they can't even fuck this up correctly. It really was. It really was Angelo's drawing, right? The guy in the football uniform hitting a basketball with a baseball bat. Yeah. So I wanted to give this one best worst tying. All right, now, there's a point in this movie where a bunch of the good guys are all tied up, except for, like, the ropes aren't attached to anything. The knots, you can see that it's just a little, like it's like a shoelace knot on them. Some of them are just standing there with their wrists together.
If you have worn a bracelet, you have been more tied up than the characters towards the end of this movie.
And I just want to point out how stiff the competition is here. In the movie International Gorillas, like when they had to tie up the good guys, they tied them up to like sideways ladders by the nuts. And just, we've seen some weird fucking tying before, but never anything as bad as this one.
That doesn't even count our personal lives, people. That's what I'm telling you. I want to go with best worst reason for earthquakes. This movie, we're going to get to it, but this movie basically proposes that God literally will cause earthquakes if Jewish kids don't learn Torah.
Yeah.
Yep. Is that in the books? Did you
Not
read
the
them?
ones I read.
Okay.
I didn't read them, but I feel like someone would have pointed it out.
I mean, I feel like threatening kids with a lump of coal is pretty bad. This is far worse. Yeah. All right. Well, it is my understanding now that if Jews take too long a break from Jewing, we're going to get typhoons and earthquakes and shit. So we're going to give Eli a quick break. And when we come back, we'll dig into all the Yiddish yammering that is Agent Emes, Rabbi-napped.
Okay, Dr. Lotov, I got one.
Excellent. With the rabbis all kidnapped, the Jewish people will lose Hashem's protection.
Yeah, okay, why do you say Hashem like that?
Huh?
That's like a thing Jews do. Just say God.
Don't get meta on me.
All right.
Huh? Where am I?
Oh, Rabbi, you're awake. You see, we've kidnapped you in order to...
Sorry, I'm not a rabbi.
Doing a... You what?
Ooh.
I'm not a rabbi.
But...
Yeah, you are. You have the beard and the hat. And
yeah.
Pretty sure.
No, I'm just an Orthodox Jew. That's not a rabbi.
Well, what do the rabbis look like then?
Like his people?
Yeah.
Like me. We all dress and look pretty identical. It's kind of our thing.
Well, shit. I did not account for that.
Yeah. This is awkward.
Can I go?
Yeah. Baruch Hashem, you can go.
See, that right there is what I'm talking about. That's weird you would say that.
And we're back for the breakdown, and we're going to open up on a suburban street in Spitzberg, which is...
Pittsburgh!
Get it?
Why do they have to do that? Could they not get the rights to Pittsburgh? Is that a thing you have to get? Weird.
I'm surprised they didn't go with Schwitzberg.
Yeah, well, right.
So
Yeah,
much
just putting a sh in front of something. I guess that's the lowest form of, whatever self-deprecating Jewish humor. So we open up on this thing, and they clearly think this is hilarious because they keep going back to it, and everybody winks at the camera when they say it, what? In Spitzberg here? Yeah, but at any rate, so we start off with a narrator telling us about another beautiful Spitzberg morning, and we're looking at a suburban neighborhood, and the narrator is telling us that the Jews are preparing to rock back and forth insanely.
Oh, Davin. Okay. That's the seizure that they have at sundown at the kosher steakhouse. I've seen this. Okay.
All of my notes for this scene is, what do you think that is, Heath? What do you think that is, Heath? What do you think those are, Heath?
That is a mild choreographed seizure at sundown at a kosher steakhouse. You ever go to Le Marais in Midtown? It's nice.
All right. So we cut to the room where they're going to rock back and forth like sexual abuse victims. But unfortunately, Emester has ruined his cube of horse dung.
His grandfather's rubber nunchucks?
What the fuck?
What?
All right, please tell me.
The word was, I believe, flingzen. Flingzen.
These are tefillin, and they are magic
rubber
boxes.
nunchucks.
Wait, I'm sorry.
They are rubber nunchucks.
There was a in that word, wasn't there? That word started with a...
They're tefillin, and they're super important magic boxes filled with a portion of the Torah. And this is the greatest thing in the universe. And I genuinely laughed at this, even when I was Jewish, even when I was like, hey, he's up there. I was like, well, that's fucking stupid. There is a prayer where it says, you shall love your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul. And this which I command to you, you will bind as a sign upon your hand and a sign upon your heart and a sign upon your head, right? And the Jews took that as, what we got to do is we got to take that and put it in a box and wrap it around our head and our heart and our hand.
No! I actually Googled this. You see pictures of Jewish people wearing it like a coal miner's light and wearing it, and there's leather straps on it. That's why I thought it was nunchucks. They're connected. So they wrap it around their arm. It looks like dominatrix going around their arms with them.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
You wrap it around, and the way you wrap it around your head, I mean, pretty cash. There's not a lot of rules to it. Just get it up there, sign upon your head. Let's not get crazy. But in your arm, you actually spell out the name of God in the leather straps as you wrap them. If you look at it's a shin, and then a yav, and then a yud. You do and then you do a fancy knot around your hand so that you've got Hebrew letters on there as well. So it's a whole S&M thing, and you know that this tradition originated with some Jewish guy all wrapped up. His wife's about to walk in. She's got the paddle in the other room, and his friends come in and they're like, "Oh, wow, Abe, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Tefillin."
God,
I'm sorry, what? Tefillin. It's like a super important religious thing. Sorry, I take God's word seriously.
As you can see, God's name is Spiral of Leather on my body. That's how it's spelled.
And I have this erection because I'm super excited for prayer. So what we see happen in this scene is his tefillin crumble because, hey, it's not enough just to wrap yourself in magic boxes. It is a huge deal that you have to pass the boxes down to your son, and your son has to pass them down to his son. My mother made the very wise choice of giving my father's tefillin to a friend who believes in God so that I didn't end up wearing them and only them out on our live show in Israel. It was a good choice, Mom. It was a good choice. So she gave it a friend who believes in God. But the thing is, they age over time, and it's this huge upsetting deal when they crumble. It's like grandma's urn getting knocked over by the cat. But it happens to every Jew. Every Jew, every 12 generations, they go, "Hey, I've had a wet box full of paper for 12 generations. Let's look inside. Oh my God!" So that's what we are witnessing.
All right. Yeah. So now all my notes assume that there was just supposed to be a cube of horse dung because that's clearly what it crumbles into. But it's good to know that it's even fucking weirder than that. So the one Jew, his tefillin crumble, and he passes out from the shame of it all. So the other rabbis go to drag him out of the temple like that one friend at the bar, but outside is a hog-tied human and a mustachioed child.
Oh, yeah. Because they didn't crumble. It was a bad non-Jewish person switched his tefillin and
yes.
Emes caught him.
Maybe for a cube of horse dung, Noah. Maybe that's what he switched it for.
No shit.
There you
it's
go.
all coming together. This is a well-written film. That's what we're saying. Yeah. So, yeah, and clearly, of course, because something bad happened to the Jews, it was Dr. Lotov's fault. His agents were trying to ruin the mitzvah.
Yep. And by the way, Agent Emes is the kid with the mustache. He shows up here. He says, I believe, burrito gentleman. Hello. Now, like I said, I have a lot of Jewish friends. When you say hi, you name a Mexican food. Am I remembering this correctly?
Yeah. Mexican pizza, gentlemen. How are you?
So,
all right.
Yeah, there's a ton of my notes are just me trying to phonetically sound out what's happening. Yeah, right here I just have, you saved the day again, Agent Emes. I'm just glad I got here before burp vomit sound. But yeah, so all the rabbis are really happy that he managed to catch the guy who was trying to ruin the mitzvah. So they invite him into burp vomit sound. But he can't stay. He's got important obligations. He's got to make it to school.
He's got to make it to school. And there's this weird moment where just before he leaves, he's like, all right, I'm off. And one of the Jews is like, wait. I have a question. And he's like, no, I have to go. But there's just like this weird scene halting moment where they added 4 seconds because they needed it.
I don't. Yeah, right. Yeah, you wanted some impact there, I guess. And then we get to marvelous introduction sequence. Now, of course, you and I, Eli, have already seen this, and we've already discussed this with Moishi on air. But this is Heath's first time through. And I'm going to just say it didn't get less silly on the second viewing. But Heath, would you care to describe sort of the flavor of the opening sequence here?
Sure. Well, Shimmy Epstein is just a normal Jewish kid. He has the rabbi teach him stuff, and he buys chocolate bars. Except, however, when the forces of evil show up, he turns into Agent Emes. Forces of evil, by the way, are people who sneak Goyim hot dogs into the kosher supermarket that are clearly labeled treifa dogs.
Yeah, right.
And the blind Jewish people just pick them up and they buy them unless Agent Emes is there.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like the worst thing that character's doing is stealing the kosher hot dogs, right? I mean, this is like low-level shoplifting.
Well, we should point out that all of the Jews, and look, it's not like Jews don't know what people who don't like the Jews do to Jews. They don't like swap out our shit that we don't notice. They fucking shoot us all the time. It's a real bummer.
I've done the swap out thing, never the shooting. fuck with my friend Israel in college.
I have cut the Eruv line occasionally. I have not pogroomed anyone.
Okay, I have a couple questions about this opening scene. So this was a plot that involved one Jewish guy eating non-kosher hot dogs.
Well, he may have fed them to his family.
It only takes one. And once you have the taste of treif in your mouth, you can never go back.
Okay, but does that even count if you get tricked into the treif? I feel like that.
I don't know. If someone injects you with heroin while you're asleep, do you wake up addicted to heroin? Yes. Yes,
okay,
you do.
But does God then punish you for the heroin addiction?
Absolutely. Of course he does. Have you ever met a heroin addict who hasn't been punished for it?
Have you ever met a Jew who didn't feel guilty about something?
Okay. All right. Asked and answered.
Full circle.
One other question. Can a rabbi bless food already in your stomach and fix it? Can he sneak in there?
No, because it's about the killing and the preparation. I don't think you can magic spell it once you're in its.
It's once the salivary amylase touches it. It's a thing with the chemical reactions.
Well, no, it's how the animal gets killed and whether or not it had cloven feet.
I feel like we should all rock back and forth and talk at once.
Okay,
that's the only real way to solve important questions like this.
If you want to reenact ReasonCon, we can. We already go once a year.
Or Iran trying to interview us at QED. How about that?
We were not drunk.
No, well,
we were not drunk. No. We, as in I, was drinking all 3 of the rounds of drinks that everyone would buy for you guys and me, and I drank them all, and I was very drunk. It was
very way to take one for the team there, Heath. We appreciate it. So then we get
How did that interview go, by the way?
So it went really well. Okay. It went really well. We got invited to Australia somehow.
Really?
So
yeah,
am I
that interview
invited?
ended with Iran being like, I want to fly these guys across the world.
Yeah, Heath can come too, I guess, if you guys agree to it. Whatever.
Yeah, no, he's like, no, yeah, but we get a kickback on how many drinks are purchased. So
okay,
that must be it. All right, so then we get the amazing Secret Agent Emes theme song, which honestly, like, I'm not even fucking with you. This has been stuck in my head since the last one we did.
Oh, try not to fuck to this music.
So now, last time we did it, we actually played the song in the episode. I don't want to do that again because I was thinking, Skype delays make duets work out so well. So, Eli, you want to sing Agent Emes with me?
I'm ready.
All right. Secret Agent Emes. He's the kid who's always looking for truth. When no parents protect, I don't know. Agent Emes always gets the
Pharaoh's
truth.
lectern was the lyric there.
The boy
everybody.
in disguise fights evil and lies to save the world for all.
Don't interrupt. Torah and
Emes was back him up when Emes gets the call.
Everybody,
Secret Agent Emes. He's the kid who's always looking for proof. All right, we'll cut that. So I just wanted to see how it would
work out. Only some of us
out.
had music training.
Yeah.
Fine. No big deal. We could have used a little trumpet backup. That's all I'm saying. Just super loud.
We'll put that in post. All right. So now we get the episode started proper. We cut to Emes's alter ego, Shimmy. And of course, because he was so busy saving the tefillin, he's getting to school late. Now, this will be the first of many times where we get to watch them try desperately to edit this in such a way as to make this child look coordinated.
Yeah.
So good.
He's running, so it's hilarious.
Already.
I've always run in a way that's hilarious, and I was like, look at me run. I should probably be a comedian for a living. No, that's a Jew thing. We all run. We all like have reverse running arms. Like our arms form opposing swastika handles in each moment so that if you freeze the frame at any point, that's what the symbol is. I don't know. A lot of people don't know that. Think it's a Hindu thing.
It's Jewish arms, is what you're saying.
No, exactly. Huh. Yeah, learn something new every day.
Yeah, so he's running up to the school right away. This is one of my favorite moments. This little thing. He sees a tree, and he's like, all right, I'm going to parkour the shit out of this tree. Runs up to it like he's going to do like a big like Aladdin swing around it on a pole thing. Yeah. But he's just like, nope.
Nope.
Gets really close to it, and he's like, nope, just going to touch it and awkwardly run past. Cool.
Well, and then we get to him getting to the fence, which he is going to climb over. And I love this fucking cut. The kid jumps 4 inches in the air. We see the jump peak, right? His hands are 3 feet from the top of this fence. And then we cut to his hands touching the fence and some Jewish guy up below him going, all right, stop stepping on my nuts, though. Your feet are hitting my nuts.
And the amazing thing is they go from like, all right, I get it. Cut it together. Kind of cute. This kid can't jump a fence. But then the thing they cut together next is him just climbing in a window, like not a high window. He's just like,
right.
There, like I wanted them to, as he sits in his chair, to cut it down. He's like starts to lower himself down, and then he's just in the chair.
Oh, and geez, and he struggles through this window like it's the final obstacle on Ninja fucking Warrior. But what's amazing about this is that what we're trying to set up is this kid is super coordinated Jew ninja, and this is the best they can do. Even with the magic of cinematography. All right. So this is where class begins, and I believe it begins on the words, Talmidim, please close your chukamachem.
Yeah, okay. I don't understand the words in this movie a lot. I understand the verbs, though, in the movie. Like, It's a lot of English verbs. Why is it only the nouns that are Hebrew or Yiddish or whatever? Why never verbs in Hebrew or Yiddish?
You're not welcome to our nouns, but you are welcome to our verbs.
Do you guys have verbs?
We prefer
They're not a very
verb.
active people.
We're not a very active person. We prefer an adverb. We like to move quickly, not necessarily quick.
You just like to quickly, you mean?
Yeah. I just, sometimes you a little quickly. So what he said, by the way, was Talmidim, you can close your chumushim, but I mean,
yeah,
the Goyish cups over here, which means students, you can close your books, which if you said it in English, the Goyim would hear and they would know our books would close, and we're going to find out what the consequences are from that in just a moment. So.
Okay. And what was the N-word you just used for me and Noah? Very clearly.
That would be Goyim, and you are, and it's not our N-word. We have an N-word.
Wait. And what is the N-word for Goyim in Jewish?
It's not for Goyim. It's for African Americans.
Oh, you guys have your own.
You guys say African American. That's your N-word in Jewish. Okay.
Let's not dig into that one. I don't. You're off the hook suddenly.
I like
Eli.
speaking at conferences. Don't you guys like speaking? Did you not want to do that anymore?
So okay. And I also So the class begins, and it begins on a pop quiz. But before we talk about the quiz, I just want to talk about the placement of the desks.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Shimmy and his buddy's desks are insanely close together. Like if Shimmy wants out, he has to pass ass first in front of his buddy, like he's flying southwest.
It's just like 2 main character desks, and then the rest.
Yeah,
spread out.
right.
It's like a wedding. It's like they're two main characters getting married. Everybody else is spread out through the room. Should we move the camera back? No, smash those two together.
Yeah.
We can't move cameras. We can only move the props.
It's like watching Heath trying to lower himself into a Ryanair airplane seat.
Yeah, right.
It's like, there's already someone sitting in this. Yeah, sir, there is. And we're going to need you to sit inside him.
I just lowered slowly as like air was releasing around the side of me for like 10 minutes, and I slowly, my ass
And then the
shaped
flight
into
was
the
over.
shape
Yeah,
of it.
right.
And then we got
exactly.
there.
So,
I was almost to the bottom of the seat.
all right, so now we cut to Dr. Lotov's perpetually haloed and cheesy lightning headquarters.
Yeah.
Where Heath, for the first time, gets to meet Dr. Lotov and his sidekick Clarence.
Clarence. And he has had it up to here with the Jews and their mitzvahs.
Yes.
That's good deeds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where all the anti-Semitism comes from. It's the good deeds the Jews are doing. The Kaparot chicken massacres, that's unrelated.
No,
it's the good deeds. We hate the fucking good deeds they do. They're so good.
It's because everyone else is a Satanist. They hate goodness. I get it.
In reality, the bad guy's just some dude in Brooklyn who's like, hey, can you not do this 10,000 chicken slaughterhouse on the sidewalk next to my house?
Right.
Maybe anywhere else with that? Top of my head, slaughterhouse? I don't know.
We have places for that. I've heard that sentence a lot. I grew up in Georgia, but mitzvahs was never the last word. You know, I've heard a lot of like, I've had it up to here with the Jews and their blank, but mitzvah was never the trigger. But
newspapers.
So of course, Dr. Lotov is allergic to goodness, but as long as the Jews have Hashem's protection, he realizes he'll always be thwarted.
Now, do you guys know the Hashem thing?
I don't, probably not.
Name for God? That's all I know.
So it's the name for God, but it doesn't mean God. It's not like Steve in Hebrew. It means the name. Because the Jewish, and I grew up afraid of this like fucking Walmart. The Jews call their God Yahweh, right? But they're never supposed to say Yahweh. It's like a big deal to never say Yahweh. So instead they say Hashem, which literally means the name. So when we they literally do a you-know-who. God is the Jews' Voldemort is the important thing. So if you ever want to freak out some Jews, like if you get surrounded, it's a dark night, you're walking around, you notice it's, even though it's hot, there's a bunch of guys dressed in black walking behind you. Just turn around, Yahweh, 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 and they'll scatter. They'll scatter.
I appreciate you giving us good Jew scattering advice on this podcast. That makes it we can go in the educational.
It's not hard to scatter Jews. Let me tell you, at this point in history, we scatter real easy. Sometimes I scatter just for the fun of it. I just,
so
just start writing out the letters of Yahweh. I'll do it without a hyphen, fuckers.
Yud, hey, vow and a half. Yeah. So
1, 2.
You better be spelling Yowl. You better be fucking spelling Yowl.
So Dr. Lotov has realized that the only way he's going to be able to thwart the Jews is to first thwart God. Now, this might strike you as going over your shoulder to scratch your ass.
Good plan.
Well, but yeah, exactly. Unless you know Jew God and how easy he is to fool. Yeah. So no, we'll just make it stop at every floor and then we're not pushing a button. It doesn't. Yeah. So that actually is a pretty good idea. And they underscore how good an idea it is with a quick evil cackling.
They do. They have a nice mutual cackling.
And their dynamic is just like the Bible Man villain from the last one we did and his weird sidekick.
Yep.
I was waiting for them to pan over and it's them just also there. Like, hey, we're pretty much the same dynamic. Do you guys hate the Jews? Do you hate the Jews? I was going to, no way.
I hate the Christians.
It's all right. Okay. It's close.
Close.
We're atheists.
Maybe we could get together and hate a Muslim. Do a fun summer. Just get away from it. Ugh, you know?
Man,
are you fucking your sidekick?
Yes.
It's a sad shame that we're not going to get a Dr. Lotov and Clarence musical number in this one, though. This really could have used a little more Bible Man oomph. You know, more production value like Bible Man.
So Bible Man pretty much stole this. Another steal from the Jews thing.
It might be. I have to check the years. All right. So meanwhile, back at the school, the kids are taking a pop quiz. They're very unhappy about this. And we get this very long, porny shot of the rabbi's ass as he's walking down the row, checking all the kids' papers.
Yeah, honestly, if someone could sink in like, it would make sense. But instead, it's just like the really, really close shot of his rounded cheeks and children very clearly pretending to take a test on blank pieces of paper.
Yeah. Yeah, but he gets to the back and it looks like but one of the kids is
Moshe Chaim, the bully?
Moshe Chaim is
Moshe Chaim?
Moshe Chaim.
That means
Moshe
Moishi
Chaim?
life. Moishi life. It's like thug life in Hebrew, I think.
So, yeah, but Moshe Chaim seems to be cheating because he's got his Chumash open to the same Chaprach that the Chechem is about.
He's got his Chumash open to the Parsha in question. I mean, the antics. This was a good part. I mean, you got to admit that was pretty good.
Yeah, no. All
right.
Sure was.
But now something incredibly important is about to happen, and I genuinely do not know if this is true or not. Because the rabbi goes, which of you studied your Torah portion? And they all try to whistle, and they all fail and can't whistle. But here's the crazy thing. I don't know if Jews just can't whistle, because I can't whistle. Heath's girlfriend can't whistle. I don't know any Jewish people who can whistle. And I have not been able to confirm a single Jew who can whistle.
And all the kids do the same thing that you and Rachel, they're like, I can't whistle, pretend like, whoo, whistle, whistling.
Also, I want to say, if you've ever tried to teach someone to whistle, you're a fucking asshole. Because everyone does the same thing. They go, Eli, it's actually really easy. And then they put their mouth into an O, which I can fucking see, and they blow, and whistle comes out, and I'm over there going, or I try to sing into it. They're like, it makes a note. So I'm like, so as far as I know, until I'm otherwise proved wrong, Jews genetically can't whistle.
Well, these kids didn't have the lungs for it. Very clearly, like there were kids like about to pass the fuck out from trying to go for like 2 seconds. Yeah. Yeah, right. So they're all like they're doing the like, we didn't study whistle or whatever. This goes on for quite a while. And then there was a whistle.
They commit to it like a Family Guy bit,
yeah.
But they don't know they're doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is where the rabbi says, and this is so amazing to me, not just the statement, but the way he backs it up. The rabbi says to the kids, look, kids, learning Torah is the most important thing you could be doing with your lives right now.
Is it? Nothing else?
It is not even on
Nothing
the list.
else? I just wanted a kid to like close his laptop, be like, oh, it's my, where are my program? Just shut down Iran's nuclear program. What were you doing? Rebbe? What was that, Rebbe, about the Torah? The first 5 books of that murdery Bible?
Well, that's what's crazy is this book, somehow, this movie isn't aware of that because the kid's like, yeah, but it's not the only thing, right? And the rabbi's like, it's pretty much the only thing.
It is, yes. Well, he explains to him that if Jewish boys don't learn the Torah, the universe will implode. Hello.
Yeah, and so, okay, here's the great thing. All right, this is awesome. And look, I know that a lot of our listeners are Christian. We only have a couple of Jews in there. But the great thing about Jews is that our metaphors, they're pretty broad. They're pretty obvious. It's like, oh, yeah, Moses promised God the children of Israel. And you're like, oh, yeah, of course, the people of Israel, like a generation of... Nope. If you wear all black, it means the literal fucking children. The literal children. Just the children.
Is that really why they think that in this movie?
Yeah. In fact, everybody know about Birthright? You guys remember that? All your friends got a trip to Israel. Where the fuck are they going? And then you come back and they're like, oh, yeah, it was super fun. Birthright is all based on the idea that it has to literally be children. That's why you can't do it as an adult.
Wait. Children of Israel. So they have to go to Israel.
Yeah, they go to Israel. You get a free trip to Israel for being Jewish,
yep.
But only when you're young. At a certain age, they're like, you're not a child of Israel anymore. Get the fuck out of here.
So many of my friends did that. I knew about that.
Because you have so many Jewish friends, as we've already established. See, I felt like I was eavesdropping here, right? This was like listening to the Scientologists talking about Xenu when they didn't know you were around or something. Because, like, look, I mean, I had a few Jewish friends growing up when I was living in Detroit, not when I was living in Georgia. They didn't have Jews down there. But, like, I did work at a lot of, like, bar mitzvahs, and I did a lot of, like, Jewish birthday parties and stuff like that. So I've been in a lot of Jewish houses, even Orthodox houses, and they do a pretty good job of hiding the real crazy.
Oh,
yeah. But apparently all you have to do is look at their kids' shows and they lay it right out for you.
Oh, well, this is the indoctrination station.
Well, right.
This is what we sell ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a movie coming out on Netflix. I think we're not going to look great. That looks not fun. I watched, everyone I know sent me that and was like, oh, dude, like, it's by the people who made Jesus Camp. And I just watched it like a horror movie trailer. Just like, oh, they're finding out. This is not good.
Shonda for the Goyim, the movie. Great.
Yeah, oh, Jesus.
So the rabbi promises the children that the world will end. And then one of the children goes, is that true?
Like, even the extras in this show are like, are you sure about that, dude?
Did we skip the part about killing the gay people with rocks, though? I said next. We're done.
So now that we've clearly established that without Jewish kids learning the Torah, the world would literally explode, we have to cut to Clarence and Lotov comically pulling off some Gestapo shit.
Yeah, they're chloroforming all the rabbis.
Yeah, well, and again, this is being played as slapstick. You know, I just wanted Clarence to go into like a dairy farm or something like that, you know, just to completely replay the opening scene from Inglourious Bastards or something. But no, they're just like a rabbi will walk up and Lotov will jump out of his car and put chloroform over him, and then they'll comically try to get him into the car.
I think, yeah. It was slapstick, but I think it was accidental slapstick because the difficulty of them getting these supposed to be passed out bodies in the car felt 100% not acting. Like, the rabbis are supposed to be unconscious, but they're all like clearly pissed. One was like, ow, you're inside of me. Like, stop, cut. We'll start again. You're inside of me.
Watch my elbow.
This whole scene was just like every time Jews try to move. Every time Jews just like, we can do this. Get a couple of fellas, some pizza and beer. Where are the Mexicans? Where are they? This couch stays on these stairs. I'm not. It's a matter of principle. That's where this couch lives now. If you want to sit down, you can come downstairs and sit on these stairs. That's what you can do.
So I love too that while this scene is going on, and we cannot overstate how low budget this is. This is literally done on like camera phone type technology of the time. So it's not like they have like filming permits or anything. This is just some guy standing on the side of the road. And there are cars driving by this entire time.
Exactly. And Pittsburgh sees nothing weird about this.
Apparently not.
It's like, hey, honey, is that a Quebecois terrorist and his sidekick abducting rabbis? Yep. You want to go to Starbucks? Let's go to Starbucks.
I don't really see how that's our business, honey. Keep driving. Watch this turn.
All right, so we get through the long, comic, hilarious Kristallnacht that they've got going on there, and then we cut to Agent Emes's house where his mom is on the phone.
Ooh.
And he is bouncing a basketball because he's an Orthodox Jewish child and has to behave terribly.
And they had to edit him dribbling a basketball twice. They had to edit that multiple times.
He couldn't throw straight down without fucking it up.
By the way, though, Shimmy's mom, super hot. Oh, like a
hot.
Jewish Michelle Bachmann. Like,
yeah, no, that's pretty accurate.
Strong.
Yeah.
I want to call her mommy. Another whistling thing that I think might just be Jews. What have you guys always called your moms?
Mom.
Yeah.
Maybe in infancy there was a mommy thing going on?
Yeah, probably when I was not 12, 13 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Every Jew I know still uses mommy, I would say 1 out of 4 times.
That's probably not healthy.
Like full-grown adults.
That's weird. You stop breastfeeding at 11, you stop saying mommy. Like, let's move.
Shortly thereafter.
Move on.
Yeah.
That's why you have bad teeth.
So yeah,
You better absorb the nutrients.
So while mom is on the phone finding out that the rabbi is missing and Shimmy is looking at a basketball trying to figure out where the plug goes, we learn that the shit's really hitting the fan because suddenly there's an earthquake.
Ooh.
And mom, okay, so she sent the kids upstairs. This is how dumb mom is. There's an earthquake. She looks upstairs and she says, Shimmy, what did I say about bouncing that basketball?
She's getting mad. I love it. She's going to discipline him.
She's going to hit him with a wooden spoon, Heath. Hit him with a wooden spoon.
Don't get me started about wooden spoons.
Yeah,
your relationship makes a lot more sense right now. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, it's not that he doesn't like labels. It's that they're way too complicated at this point. Yeah. So the kids come down. They're like, no, I promise, Mom. It's not that I threw that into a fucking fault zone or whatever and caused an earthquake. It was just an earthquake. And just then Dad comes in. He is covered in chalk because earthquake.
Because he was juggling clumps of loose chalk in the garage when an earthquake happened.
I don't even know what they were going for there.
Well, no, you chalk your shoulders as you walk in the house.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. I knew that. My Jewish friends told me that you do that, actually.
He's just making shit up now.
But so I could have played that.
I was double testing you. Nope.
And thousands of people would be sitting at home right now being like, I didn't know them Jewish fellers chalk their shoulders.
Well, like that would be weird compared to the shit Jewish fellers do. Right,
we
like
do kiss the door
and have the one like crappy part of the house. That was the one thing that I loved, that apparently you can't have too nice a house because God would get jealous. So Jews will leave one part really crappy in their house, like the Orthodox ones, and then they'll show off how crappy their crappy spot is.
Oh,
really?
Now this is a very limited joke, but anyone who's been in my apartment, that's what that is now. I'm just super.
Which part's the nice part?
I don't like to show it off. It's a closet. It's a hole it's in a corner. Watching Heath try to sit down in my food and just bug infested apartment is a journey. Honestly, that could be its own show. Is just Heath trying to find a seat with dirty socks. It's like, this is a diaper. You don't have children.
I get it, though. I get it.
Sometimes Madge travels. All right. So, yeah. So Dad comes in. He's all covered in chalk. So obviously shit's hitting the fan. They need to turn on the news. And luckily they have the one-button news machine exactly next to the door.
What is it like? Hey, turn on the front door radio. We need some radio news here by the front door all together. Perfect.
And the newscaster is saying, hey, there have been mysterious earthquakes hitting major metropolitan areas around the globe. Sounds like a job for Secret Agent Emes. He's the kid who's always looking for truth.
Meow. And Dad shuts it off. He's like, I don't think the kids need to hear about that. And I was like, earthquakes?
Yeah, because the hips will be shaking. It'll be scandalous. And, of course, the news also says before he turns it off, he's like, seismologists don't know what the fuck is going on. They are completely snowed, probably a God thing. And also, by the way, they describe this as a deadly event. So Lotov has killed people in this show now.
Yeah.
With chalk?
Yeah, with chalk. With earthquake chalk. Yeah, exactly.
A lot of chalk in some places.
And so Shimmy obviously has to go change into Agent Emes, and he says, Mom, I have a headache. And she says literally, oh, I forgot how sensitive you are to excitement.
That was the most Jewish mom thing ever caught on film. And the movie seemed completely unaware of that.
Forgot you were allergic to the Weather Channel. Yeah, it's got lots of gluten in the forecast. It's a high gluten forecast. You lay down.
I just wrote in my notes, Mom, I have a headache and perfectly rounded teeth. Can I go lie down?
This kid has circular teeth.
Yeah, no, it's like a
that is a
dinosaur.
true fact.
Yeah. So he goes upstairs to lay down so he can sneak out and save the world. Except that he waits until that night anyway. So I think he just was masturbating for a couple hours. Mm-hmm. Or maybe he really just had a headache, right? Maybe he really is sensitive to excitement. Maybe the
Or
actor
both.
just wanted out of that scene. Anyway, so mom's walking around. She's like, honey, do you know where the mop is? 'Cause-
He's like, what am I, a child or a woman? Find it yourself. Fuck you. I don't know. Probably next to the book that says shut up and bear children. Or did you check right under the glass ceiling? It might be right under the glass ceiling. I don't know.
That's all our books, by the way. All of
Yeah,
them, just
no,
in case you're wondering.
yeah.
That's a fun glance into that world, wasn't it? Like when Ricky used to spank Lucy, you're just like, oh, I forgot about that. Right. Oh.
Yeah. So now, and then they hear, of course, Agent Emes, the gag that they do is every time he puts on his Agent Emes outfit, he turns around and hits his nuts on something because he's wearing sunglasses.
Inside a dark room.
Yeah, right, with the lights off. Yeah, exactly.
If everyone who wears sunglasses inside the house got kicked in the dick, I'd be less atheist.
All right.
So
That's what
you
you're
hear that,
selling me.
Christians?
You're selling
There's
me.
a way. He's telling you the blueprint.
I'm on board if everybody gets kicked in the dick for that. Yeah.
Ray Comfort, if you actually care about saving souls, start kicking people. Heath, are you watching? Claw! Yeah, you wanted to look cool, but you don't look cool because you shit yourself.
I don't feel like those two things are mutually exclusive, and fuck you for saying that they are.
Also add people at the top of the stairs leaving the subway.
Oh,
Kick
yeah.
them in the dick, please.
Yes, yeah, Ray.
If we're-
I will pretend to be whatever fucking religion you want if you'll start taking care of them.
I will become a Muslim terrorist if you do that. I don't care. Or another religion terrorist. It didn't have to be Muslim.
no,
I
you
don't know
could
why
be
I said
Buddhist.
Muslim.
Fuck
I don't
the
know why I
Rohingya.
immediately thought of Muslim. Yeah, the Buddhists do equal amounts of terrorism in the world.
You're
right.
Hey, they're taking the record though for the biggest genocide since World War II. I think that's what they're going for, and
Of
they're
Muslims.
awful close
Biggest?
to it. Yeah, I think so. since World War II.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's the report that I heard recently. Of course, they can't get on the ground and find any real information because
Because Buddhists don't snitch, unlike we never talk about the positive side. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sitting and thinking. What were we burning here? Incense. Thank you. Really?
A whole village full of incense.
Yeah, it was a whole incense village. It's all shaped like the skulls of children. It's weird, but you know us wacky Buddhists, as Buddha used to say. Stop asking so many questions.
He probably did say that. All right, so Dad goes upstairs to check on Agent Emes because he hears him getting hit in the nuts by divine retribution, and he looks in, but of course, Agent Emes is Ferris Buellering it once more. This time using the mop instead of a wig.
Ferris Jewelering it. Jeweler.
So, yeah, but
Diamond
he puts.
District.
I love that this kid. This is how smart this kid's parents are. It's a black-haired kid that puts a white mop in there in his bed to be like, no, look, it's a person. See the hair? And the dad's like, it must be a person. It's got hair. And he walks away.
I mean, to be fair, Orthodox Jewish families have so many children that you could probably really replace one with a mop, and they'd just be like, that one's the good one. It screams the least. Rabbi Mop grows to prominence.
And okay, so now we cut to the weird, creepy Jew room.
What the fuck is happening in this room?
All right,
Are
now
you
I spoiled
serious?
this. I spoiled this for Noah last time. What do you think is happening in this room?
Autistic book club? Is it? No?
No, I mean, kind of. I can't say no. So this is Rebbe tutoring. And what happens is you've got like a king rabbi, who's like the head of all the rabbis, and he has commentary on the Torah. And each of his students reads a different portion and then asks him questions about it. And he answers those questions, and they are expected to memorize what he says and write it down. And that is what becomes Jewish mysticism and commentary. So that's what you're seeing take place.
Okay. So at the beginning of that class, the Rebbe's just like, everyone talk about the book at the same time and go. Is that how it starts?
Yep.
Okay.
No, like, that's the thing. And I feel this way about a lot of religious traditions, but maybe none more so than this one. This originally was someone's idea. Right? Somebody said, okay, what if we all got together and read different shit out loud at the same time while rocking back and forth like sex abuse victims? Huh? We could do that weekly?
I went to a Halloween party like this at Yale, but everybody, it was like a joke. It was ironic.
It's actually really funny. Not at all snarky. If you didn't like it, look away. Maybe me and my husband could dedicate the rest of our careers, make fun of college students now. Prove how equal opportunity we much care about it.
We don't get enough emails. And of course, Agent Emes walks into the secret controlling the media room in the back or whatever that is.
But he's got to visit the portrait gallery.
Well, of course. Yeah, exactly. They're just replaying the exact same scene from episode 1 in case Heath didn't see it.
Yeah. And commentary here. How come the Jews suck at art? That's weird, right? We're good at a lot of the arts. How come we're bad at music except for production and painting?
Also,
isn't that a strange thing?
Also, I feel like secret hallways is a stupid place for artwork. Just in general. Well, it's like a dumb place to
because you wouldn't understand.
Things.
There's a lot of secret hallways involved in Judaism. I don't want to get into that.
Okay.
So he walks through the Hall of Jew Portraits, also known as the Hall of 3-inch black outlines around the green screening. And this is where he goes in to flirt with that. I don't know. I have head Jew in my notes. I don't know what to refer to this guy that he's going to see as.
Yeah, I don't know what that guy's supposed to be either. I'm not that high in the Illuminati.
Okay, all right. So he walks in, but first he's got to talk to the secretary who says, "Oh, it's Jew word, Agent Emes. You've arrived."
Yep.
Secretary didn't look enough like mom, in my opinion. Your secretary should look like your mom, right?
Well, this isn't his secretary. This might look like that guy's mom.
It's that guy's.
Yeah. No, because we've already seen the first episode. We know the backstory on this.
It's time for some flirting, which means she wants to see the inside of his mouth. Okay.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Let me see that tongue. Is it really coming in yet?
If it touches your chin, you don't need to go into the other room. You could stay right here with me, my boy.
Yeah, it was because we made the joke the first time we saw these about how these two seemed clearly like they were going to fuck when he came back out. But they really took that in a very bizarre direction this time.
Judgy.
And by the way, this scene ends with the boom going halfway into the frame for 10 seconds. They're not even talking. It's just like right in your face, boom in your face, boom in your face. 10 seconds. Just cut the scene.
It's amazing. All right. So he flirts with the secretary. She checks his teeth because that's what she's into. And hey, you're right. We shouldn't judge. So he goes in to see the whatever we can't establish what the fuck this guy, the guy who sends a prepubescent yeshiva boy out to fight grown men on behalf of Jewish mysticism, that guy, whatever the title is for that. And they have managed to figure out that the earthquakes are definitely happening because of a disturbance in the spiritual realm.
Yeah.
You see.
We all know it's disruption, the spiritual realm thing. The world's humors are unbalanced. That's our starting point of our scientific discussion.
He needs to go brush up on his Saber printer metrics.
I had my Saberaceous. Yeah, I do. Who the fuck knows?
But it's Kabbalah. It's Jew magic. And the reason I bought the stone tiles, huh?
There you go.
Jew magic.
I love this line here too. He goes like, the head Jew guy that he's talking to says, "Yeah, we can't figure out what's going on, even with all of my instruments." And he points to 3-decade-old laptops, all of them just whirring loudly in the background like fucking lawnmowers on Sunday morning.
That's Pong on a Commodore 64 and a sextant. You pointed at a Commodore 64 and a sextant. Yes.
Would
Nothing
you like to
about
meet my
earthquakes.
But then he explains that Agent Emes has to go learn Kabbalism. And he goes, wait, isn't that, Jewish mysticism theories? To which the boss guy says, it's not a theory, E. This isn't evolution bullshit. This is fact.
Yeah! I am so excited. Oh my God. I'm so excited for Kabbalah. Because we'll get to it. We'll get to it in a second. I'm very excited.
Yeah. Well, clearly Eli and I have to have an argument beforehand about which Hebrew letter belongs on the path between Gevurah and Tiferet. So we're going to pause for a quick break. But before we do, let me give Act 3 the hard sell. Can Agent Emes memorize enough ancient mystical bullshit to finish the episode? What did Eli think the tiles were going to do? How long do you think it took him to figure out that they weren't going to do that? Find out the answers to some of these questions and more when we return for the phlegmy gibberish conclusion of Agent Emes, Rabbi-napped.
Which
We
letter
should put
is
the
it?
gold in the hallways. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Yiddish or Nonsense. I'm your host, Chet Brinkley.
And I'm Brink Chetley. Our first guest tonight is Noah Lugeons. Noah, tell us about yourself.
Well, I edit this podcast, and this is my job, to do this.
Meta. And also joining us is...
All right, fuck you, Eli. Whatever.
What?
Eli
Chet?
Bosnick.
I'm Chet now.
Fuck you, Chet.
And tell us about yourself.
I'm going to key your car.
Fantastic. Brink, what do you got for them first?
Well, Chet, the word is mishpacha.
It's Jew word.
That is correct. Okay, next up, gefilte.
Not a Jew word.
Ooh, sorry, Jew word.
Okay, Noah, your word is kevtech.
Not a Jew word?
Maybe, not sure.
Wait, what?
Could be. And finally, are you ready for your final word? Heath, your word is
Jew word. Definitely Jew word.
who knows? Tell them what they win. You won platinum tickets to our live show in Salt Lake City.
Wow.
That's the greatest gift I could ever receive.
If only there was a website where I could get those tickets on the show notes to this episode.
If only there were, Noah. If only there were. So until next time,
Yiddish or nonsense. Does this have gluten?
And we're back for more of this shit. When we last left our hero, he had just learned that he needed to go learn some Kabbalism. And now we finally get to hear Heath's first impression of the fat kid.
You mean the kid with the crazy lips? The
Yes,
insane
crazy lips.
Can we talk like enormous, luscious Semitic lips on this kid?
Almost as though lipids couldn't transmit themselves through his body
Over the
genetically.
top. He got a purty mouth.
This kid is so fucking... This kid should be labeled tumor food. Oh, my God. Yeah, so he goes into the Chachem's meditation chamber, and apparently he expected it to be a little bit more hippie.
He's like, oh, hey, I thought this was a meditation chamber. Where's the incense and the fancy music? And he was like, yeah, Jews don't do that stupid meditation stuff. And I wrote in my notes, see, Noah, maybe you're Jewish.
Well, I love his answer. He's like, psh, Jews aren't into that hocus pocus. This other hocus pocus, however. Yeah, we meditate by reading these books and rocking back and forth like a normal person would.
Like a weird, messy verbal argument in a Starbucks. A whole bunch of gay couples all at once. I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah. So the fat kid turns to him. He's like, he's going to teach him some Kabbalism. And so he says, okay, now let's review. Habba, Shama, Hamma, Shia LaBeouf, mashed potatoes. There are not letters, and there could not be letters to represent those sounds that kid just made.
I wrote down, okay, meow, 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 meow.
But apparently what meant was that the letters of the Hebrew alphabet, get this, literally keep the universe from caving in. Literally.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the best part. All right. So I should point out, Kabbalah, for those who aren't familiar, is the secret Jewish mysticism. And actually what that means is the Jewish stuff we wrote down that was prettiest.
Right.
But the problem with being an insular culture who people keep trying to kill is eventually someone turns to the prettiest books and goes, no, man, that's real. So if I turned to you and I said, sometimes I think the words of Shakespeare keep the whole universe from caving in, you'd say, wow, Eli, what are you smoking and can I have some? But if I replace that with Torah and you spend a couple 100 years just working on brushes and loans, you start to think that shit's real. So he explains brush salesman.
Yeah.
Google it. Big thing.
What? Like paint brushes?
No.
What are you talking about?
Jewish brush salesman is a thing.
Are there a lot of Jewish people selling, again, paint brushes? What are you saying?
It was a famous thing for them to be brushes. Brushes.
Hair brushes?
Hair brushes. Yes, hair brushes.
Okay. Weird.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. What is the most common form of brush? The hair brush.
Well, yeah, no, it now makes sense. If you think of that as paintbrush, that would be a weird thing. What? How does...
Thank you.
Yeah, so...
Like, what is it?
Look up Jewish brush salesman. Walt Disney showed us his brush salesman, and that's why we don't like him.
Oh, gotcha. So now the key here, though, is that no matter how weird that is, it's nowhere near as weird as thinking that the Hebrew alphabet literally keeps the universe from caving in.
Literally.
It's a snake, and then a turtle, and then 3 elephants, and then dreidels. They each have a dreidel, and that holds up the universe.
There's an Aleph and a Beth and a Gaimel and a Daleth, and I don't remember any of the other ones. Or not in order anyway. So yeah, and the Agent Emes even says to me, he's like, okay, I don't get how that would, how could that even be literal? And the kid says, and you never will. Next scene. Well, but no, I'm sorry. It gets even fucking weirder because the kid says, the reason we're having earthquakes is because probably someone has stolen some of the Hebrew letters. What?
What? Where? The letters?
Yes. Who the fuck knows?
Keep them in their weird secret hallway of artwork.
Yeah, there you go.
It was fun for me to watch this kid, the kid who plays Shimmy, go through the moment I realized that my rabbi I had since I was growing up as a little kid actually thought the world was like 6,000 years old. I got to watch him go through his It was nice. It's like looking back in a Harry Potter pensive, just me being like, well, I mean, obviously that's a metaphor, and him being like, no, science doesn't know everything, and me being like, I need to leave now. Swoosh.
Everything and anything seem to have the same meaning in that apologetic to these people. I'm not sure why. Yeah. So he learns a bunch of Kabbalism, and then we get him walking to school where he gets this tiny, tiny little earthquake. So, and I really started writing down now, like, how are these Miller Richter earthquakes killing people? Right? Were they balancing washing machines on their chins at the time?
Yeah.
But at any rate,
someone was doing his knife juggling act right in the middle of the first earthquake.
Yeah, like, right.
Great, now it's a whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. If I hadn't been doing the one-footed pole thing, maybe, but... Yeah, but anyway, so he goes to school, there's an earthquake, and we should point out that when we say earthquake, what we mean is the camera shakes and the people on camera shake, not necessarily at the same time. Right? There's several times where the fucking earthquake, the camera starts shaking, and then the kids start shaking, or one kid starts shaking, and then the other one, as though there's a really slow earthquake going through. Anyway, so he gets to school, and... He opens the door, and immediately a football flies out, and he catches it. I guarantee you there were 31 other takes of that we don't get to see.
Right. Right, but are they playing football inside? No, they're playing all the sports.
All at once.
All the sports balls, like I said, just throwing,
basket
running,
hockey.
Complete nonsense.
That's inside of school. Sorry, I thought they were inside a toy store on a Tuesday in the middle of April. I got confused because it was just Jewish children screaming and throwing things around. So I thought it was a toy store, but apparently it was. No, don't worry, everyone. It's in the school.
I thought it was a birthday party, and I was thinking to myself, $400 isn't that much money when you think about it. When you walk into this room, it's not really Worth it. Yeah, but the kids are all in the school. None of the rabbis have shown up because, of course, they've all been chloroformed. So the kids are just going fucking nuts. They are fucking jerking off everywhere. No, they're not. They're actually playing sports ball. But, yeah. And this is where, now, of course, we met this character in the first episode of Agent Emes. Heath did not. But this is where we first, in this episode, meet the tiny, tiny little bully. The kid who is half the size of the kid that he's bullying.
Cannot be a bully for so many reasons. Like, if you're going to be a bully, I think you have to have at least one dominant gene. Except for Eli, if you're going to be a bully, you need one dominant gene minimum.
Look, if I know anything about our audience, they love pro-bullying jokes. Let me tell you. Hooey! Didn't enjoy my sketch. Didn't like my sketch. I received negative feedback.
So the tiny little bully starts messing with Shimmy, and then he starts chasing him. And this chase scene is amazing. Again, swastika arms the whole way. This is the least coordinated chase scene since Leap.
It's amazing.
They're just running through a hallway, and again, they had to edit it.
Yes!
They couldn't just, like, have them run down the hall. It was like one at a time. Don't run next to each other. You both, one of you will get hurt.
Slow down around the corner. Slow down. And I love, too, the little bully kid is so clearly out of breath and can't, like, he's like, they've got him like 9 minutes behind the first kid. So he stops halfway through. He takes he grabs his inhaler.
Heath comes jogging up behind him. I'm trying to catch a train. Sorry. I was like 10 minutes behind you. I walked like 6 or 7 blocks yesterday, so now I'm paralyzed from the waist down for the rest of my life.
So, yeah.
I had blisters. We walked a lot. I had different shoes than normal.
So Shimmy hides in a locker since he's 9 minutes ahead of the kid that's half his size. He hides in a locker so the bully won't know where he is. But wouldn't you know it, just as the bully's about to walk away, he sneezes.
Oh.
Yeah, fake sneeze.
Right.
Sorry.
And just when he's about to get beat up, and again, this is like Yoda versus Dooku. When he's about to get beat up, there's suddenly an earthquake that opens one of the lockers and bloodies the bully kid's nose, which means that Shimmy has now won the confrontation.
They both he turns so Jewish. He's like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Like, I know we were going to fight, but are you all right? You're literally bleeding right now. And I think this is nothing, but you could get bone fragments in your bloodstream. And then, boom, you're gone. Like John Ritter. That's exactly what happened to John Ritter. He broke his nose. That's a horrible thing. Go to the hospital. Call 911. I'll stand here and wait with you. Stay awake. Stay awake. Probably have a concussion, like a football player. Gonna have Alzheimer's now because of you and your lockers.
That's exactly how it plays out too. So then the bully kid wanders off. Shimmy's buddy shows up and he's like, hey, I just heard that none of the rabbis at my sister's school showed up too. Maybe it's a Nazi Holocaust. And he's like, or maybe it's that someone doesn't want kids learning Torah so that everything will go to shit. The other kid's like, oh, exactly.
Yeah. And I love that he goes, maybe it's that someone doesn't want us learning Torah. I mean, look at us. And the camera pans over and all of the children are just in a giant fuck pile. Right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
It was learning Torah or fuck pile. There was no.
Well, I mean, I think that's actually accurate. Without instruction, Jewish kids immediately devolve into a giant fuck pile.
No.
I used to have a weird job. Pretty sure.
Shit.
That's universal.
I also I have to draw a circle around this line because it's so goddamn bad. The best friend says to Shimmy, he's like, what can we do? And the other kid says, Shimmy says, whatever we can. How the fuck do those words make sense? What can we do? Whatever well, of course, yes. Tautologically speaking, yes, that's exactly what we can do.
I think there were some letters missing from the universe at this point.
I see.
They couldn't really make coherent sentences.
God damn it, they got to the W's. So, yeah. So Shimmy sneaks into the little boy's room to turn into a secret agent.
Yep.
And just to make it extra funny, his buddy's outside blocking a much smaller kid from going in and peeing. So we get, no, I will admit, a 7-year-old Jewish kid complaining because he can't pee, that's humor. Like, there's a lot of humor potential there.
Seems like an easy solution, though. I mean, like one of the many situations when you just start peeing and you get what you want.
Amazing number of life's problems will be solved if you just start peeing.
Start peeing. I'm telling you. So many things I've gotten out of. So many wacky shenanigans. I would have gotten in big trouble. Just start peeing.
Okay. So Heath's allowed to recommend peeing, but when I recommend a little bit of choke and jerk, Andrew's all, don't tell people to choke and jerk. Even though I very specifically said use a harness. I'm not saying anything. I'm saying it's unfair that some things are fine. Peeing is dangerous too. That's all I'm saying. Peeing is dangerous too. So everything I say is a joke. I don't want to get into it.
See, some of our friends are Jewish.
Mine was presidential. Mine was presidential. Yours was weird.
Well, so Agent Emes changes into his Agent Emes clothes, runs his nuts into things. And then he goes out to the hall where the kids are going wild. But they stop because suddenly Emes's physics-defying hat floats over top of him to quiet the ruckus.
Yeah, the hat does like the kindergarten teacher, like clap, 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 clap.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's how you stop a fuck pile, by the way, also.
Yeah, well, apparently, yeah, with the hat. And then Agent Emes, I love this part too. Agent Emes gives the bully kid a hanky for his nose, and the bully kid plays this like he is definitely going to fuck that hanky later.
He really does.
That was really weird.
I will never wash this bloody hanky again. Really? Because that's gross. Oh, also, this is also where we get the super coordinated basketball moment.
Yeah. He does like a behind the back pass to like be impressive as Agent Emes or whatever, but the edit it's priceless. Like he starts doing the throw and they cut away immediately. Like there's a clip from NBA Jam and the thing's bouncing around, and then they're back and it's like he clearly just like right after they cut, he injured his arm. It was like oh my god,
my biceps.
I twisted my elbow.
Biceps. You didn't warn me. Yeah, no, it's amazing. But what we're supposed to believe happened is he threw the basketball behind his back and bounced off 4 walls and then went right to the other kid.
And then was like, boom, shackle. Oh, no, that's stupid. We cut. That's when it's still NBA Jam. They'll know.
And then again, just to underscore how amazingly coordinated this child actor is, he jumps up on a table to address the crowd. And everyone who has ever watched this show is going, oh my God, he's going to faceplant. That kid is going to die. That table is so fucking rickety and that kid is so uncoordinated. This is criminal negligence. Let him down.
Oh, it's really scary. And he's like, everybody quiet. You guys are running around like when we murdered chickens on the streets of Brooklyn.
Exactly. Maybe don't mention the Caprot chickens in your Jewish movie. You don't showcase the dumbest parts of your thing. Pay attention.
This would be like if in a Mormon movie a kid jumped up and he was like, you guys are running around like our hugely teen homeless population are made out of gay kids who get kicked out of their homes. It's crazy.
Yeah. But the actual message here is Lotov, evil Dr. Lotov stole your rabbis so you wouldn't learn more Torah. But if only you guys could all study Torah together, then we could save the world from the evil Jewless earthquakes.
That's the
Jewless
plan.
earthquakes. I mean, yeah.
No,
easy.
that's obviously if you have Jewless earthquakes.
Yeah, what's the question?
Jews Jewing. Yeah. All right. So now we cut to the waiting room at Auschwitz. And there are a shocking number of things that you only see or hear in Holocaust movies and Agent Emes episodes, right? Like 93 rabbis all tied up together in the same, 16 rabbis all tied up together in the same room, which apparently represents all the world's rabbis.
Yeah. There aren't that many Jews taking it seriously anymore. You ever met like a serious... I met one and I was just like, ugh, you smell terrible. It's not great. I'm just saying.
Jesus Christ.
It's the world's most specific sex dungeon. I can say we smell... I could say.
Apparently you can. You just did. Obviously. Also, and this is where we get the amazing tying where rope is just like wrapped around him 4 times and tucked in and you can see that. right? You can see where they tucked it. One of them's like the rope is supposed to go to his hands, but obviously the rope tied to his hands is not tied to the rope tied to his body. It's amazing how lazy they were about this. So it's like, okay, everyone, tie yourselves for this scene.
Not a lot of Boy Scouts on the cast.
Yeah, we're not particularly welcome in that society of bird watchers.
And that's amazing, interesting, very, very strange. It's also like, I love too that like 8 or 9 of the rabbis are like tied to things. But after that, they were like, just, oh, fuck it. Just have them with some ropes around them. They'll just be freely walking around the room, except with ropes shoes around them.
Free-range. You just, some hipsters come in and they're like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Like, look how happy they are. Yeah. Do you want to give him some corn? I can't. My indigestion. All right. Well, you couldn't give him corn because of his indigestion, but
you can taste the difference with the eggs, though. They're better.
Oh,
they're better.
You can, yeah. You can
Jews
taste
do
the
lay
happiness.
eggs. Not a lot of people know that.
Yeah.
You just have to watch Borat. All right. So, yeah. Now, but one of the rabbis spits out his gag or whatever, and he turns to Dr. Lotov, who is, whatever, evil monologuing through all of this, and he says, damn you, if the Jewish children don't learn the Torah, the universe will explode. To which Dr. Lotov is like, no, I get that. I
do. My character has very strange motivations. I seem to be Jewish.
Well, very clearly. Yeah, right. Down to I will use the Jewish terms for things. But also I want to stop the religion that I clearly believe is correct and vital to keeping the universe from being destroyed.
I guess it's like the Christian movie Atheist is the Jewish movie Anti-Jew.
I guess. Yeah, right.
Like Kevin Sorbo's just mad at God and Dr. Lomtov is just against Hashem. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah. And then suddenly, as his evil plan is about to come to fruition, the earthquakes stop. And he says, but that's impossible. The camera still has the smoky filter on. And it does. It actually does for quite a while.
It does.
Unless...
Slap. He gets slapped with the hat.
Secret Agent Emes. He's the kid who's always looking for truth. So, yeah.
That was Heath on the trumpet.
The trumpet accompaniment there, yeah. So he goes for the hat knockout because, again, when you touch a human with the edge of a felt hat, they fall unconscious. And that's Agent Emes's only move. So he knocks out Dr. Lotov and starts freeing the rabbis, which is basically like just going like, okay, so here, let me hand you the rope to your thumbs and you can just untie it. It's not really tied.
Pretty much. And they're like, but wait a second. Why did that stop the earthquakes? And he goes, oh, I didn't stop the earthquake. And he takes out his television pen projector.
Yes. Yeah.
And he projects an image of all of his fellow students studying Torah. And he lets them know that Jewish children love learning Torah. And that's why Moses promised God all of the Jewish children.
And now it all makes sense. Wait, no, what? Moving on.
By the way, small thing, while this rabbi's talking, he's got the gag out of his mouth now, so he's talking, but there's another rabbi right next to him with the gag still in his mouth, but he's just like smiling. He's just smiling, nodding along with the gag in his mouth, like, yep.
I'm into it.
Very specific sex dungeon.
I have a different weekend plan than I thought I did.
So, all right. So now we cut back to the school where the kids are learning Torah on their own. And Mushi Chaim, the bully kid, is leading the class in the Jewing.
Oh, he took charge hard. He's like, all right, we study till 10:15, but then snack. Because I'm fucking harsh, like Judd Nelson. Then 2 hours of recess. You don't know me. Ooh.
And also, and this is hilarious, balloons. You see, they're going to have a pop quiz, which is where they pop balloons.
And he pops the balloon, and they haven't done any sound muffling, so it pops really loudly, and every Jew in the room jumps. And
yes!
everyone in the room is like, ow! Now I'm deaf. I'm deaf forever now.
Well, I love, before we even get to that, again, these are kids that were losing their breath trying to whistle, and we have them all blowing up balloons and shit.
Oh, I am positive several of those kids passed out trying to blow up a balloon. They were having a lot of trouble.
Yeah, but just as he's doing the whole balloon popping and 2 hours of recess thing, Rabbi Smiles shows up, and he's standing behind him the whole time.
Oh,
That's funny.
Classic stand behind.
Yeah. And yeah, but thanks to all the kids learning Jewishness, the rabbi is fine. And in his words, they're all one day closer to learning the Torah together with Metzmack, ShamWow, Blitz Package, Smibble Smap.
with the Moshiach, they're all closer to learning because remember, they don't think Jesus was the Messiah. So the Jews are just constantly waiting on the Messiah. So Moshiach.
They're still waiting on the dude. I gotcha. All right.
Still waiting. There's some people who think it was a guy I met when I was a kid, but he wasn't. It wasn't him.
Well, not yet.
No. Yeah, well, you never know.
No, he's dead. He's dead. It passed.
Well, yeah, but they
come back.
Yeah, exactly. It's not permanent. It's like Game of Thrones
It's been
characters.
a while. He's really wrecking it on the whole Game of Thrones thing.
All right. So if there's one thing that we learned from the Holocaust, it's that kidnapping rabbis does not create earthquakes. That's really the major takeaway. But that's not to say that kidnapping all the rabbis wouldn't have some devastating effects. So to close off the review tonight, I want to ask you guys what the actual negative consequences of Dr. Lotov's evil plans would have been in the real world.
Public schools near Orthodox Jewish communities could buy a few pencils. You wouldn't want that.
That's a real problem. Babies would miss out on their first blowjob.
Well, there's that. And let's face it, Jewish babies, they're not going to get a lot of shots going forward.
Now you don't need a herpes shot.
Yeah.
You're all set.
See? Exactly.
And well, that's going to do it for our review of Agent Emes Rabbi-napped. That's not going to do it for the episode just yet because we still need to renew our vows. So Eli, tell us what's on deck.
Well, this will be our live show from Austin, Texas, and we're going to be reviewing The Grim Reaper.
From the people who brought us.
With Footman Tire You, What Would Horses Do? And Burning Hell.
Yeah. No, it's not Estes Perkel, though, right? It's the director who did those two.
Ron Ormond.
The same director, but not, yeah.
Yeah, but like, I mean, Estes Perkel was fun because you just had this like graphic ass shit being narrated by Orville Redenbacher, but the graphic shit is where the fun was. So yeah, very much looking forward to that one. And of course, by the time this airs, that will already have been recorded, but there's still time to check us out in Salt Lake City. Again, check the show notes for this episode if you want to get in on some of that live show action. So with that to look forward to, we're going to bring episode 110 to a merciful close. Once again, a huge thanks to all the Patreon donors that help make the show go. If you'd like to count yourself among their ranks, you can make a per episode donation at patreon.com/godawful and thereby earn early access to an ad-free version of every episode. You can also help us out a ton by leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes and by sharing the show on all your various social media platforms. And if you enjoyed this show, be sure to check out our sibling shows, The Scathing Atheist, The Skeptocrat, and Citation Needed, available on iTunes, Stitcher, and wherever else podcasts live. If you have questions, comments, or cinematic suggestions, you can email godawfulmovies@gmail.com. Legal services for this podcast are provided by the law offices of P. Andrew Torres. Our theme song was written and performed by Ryan Slotnick of Evil Drafts on Mars. All other music was written and performed by our audio engineer, Morgan Clark, and was used with permission. Thanks again for giving us a chunk of your life this week. For Heath Enwright and Eli Bosnick, I'm Noah Lugeons, promising to work hard to earn another chunk next week. Until then, we'll leave you with the Breakfast Club close.
Orthodox Jewish people will massacre tens of thousands of chickens on the sidewalks of Brooklyn next week, swinging them by the neck in a circle and throwing them against a wall. Like for real. In real reality, that's going to happen.
The fact that this was our Yom Kippur episode is just a coincidence, believe it or not.
Eli and Moishi took up Torah again, just in case it slowed down some hurricanes.
Sounded kind of like you had like a Wile E. Coyote contraption that turned on your recorder by dropping a bowling ball onto the button at some point after some number of steps.
I mean, it's called a Rube Goldberger.
What's that?
It's called a what?
You were talking.
It's like a mouse-trappy thing.
You guys want to do the show? What's going on?
Yeah, let's do the show. Do a 10 count first. The preceding podcast was a production of Puzzle and a Thunderstorm LLC, copyright 2017, all rights reserved.